Today, we're going over 6 tips on how to deal with anger and stress at all times. This is Pedo. This is Men's Health. I got you. One of the biggest components is when you get angry and stressed out is the effects they have on your body. I don't think a lot of us realize the harm we're doing to ourselves when you can't control your emotions, getting upset and getting angry. One of the biggest things to do is raise your blood pressure, raise your anxiety, raise your heart rate. It's almost like you poison yourself to not able to control your emotions. You flipping out. As a man, they always tell you to control your emotions, control your emotions. Men is not supposed to be emotional, so on and so forth, which I don't believe. What I do believe is, though, is always healthy ways to control your emotions so it won't have that negative impact on your body. When you're stressed out, when you're angry, you're constantly going through a traumatic experience within your body that you may not even realize to some point where you're poisoning yourself. So let's try to be more alert, more aware of what's going on with us physically so we can be able to walk through these steps and control our emotions in a way where it won't affect us so negatively. It's Peter. All right, number 2. I want us to be a little bit more self-aware of our anger and our stress. It's real easy to pay attention to what pissed you off or who pissed you off instead of looking at internally to figure out why are you so easily upset. Like, what's going on with you today to make sure these triggers come up so easily for you? Like, a lot of times we get in situations where people do something and we automatically get offended and want to cuss them out, flip out on them when it ain't even nothing that they did intentionally. So sometimes when you're a little bit more self-aware, you can understand, like, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to take a pause. I need to look at what's going on with me internally instead of automatically blaming somebody else or automatically pointing a finger at other situations, other people. When a lot of times, they don't even realize what they're doing. It ain't always personal towards you. So sometimes we need to be a little bit more self-aware of what we got going on internally so we won't be so easily to project our issues onto other people. You feel me? All right, number 3, I want you to pay attention to the signs. I want you to pay attention to the little triggers that could become a spark that we can ignore, where it become a fire later on. It become way more intense if we just keep putting our emotions to the side. Like they say, men, you shouldn't feel this way. Men shouldn't cry. Men shouldn't do this, do that. Nah, man, if you keep ignoring all of that and keep swallowing and swallowing, you're going to explode. I know everybody's seen that video recently that man just had enough. I'm not trying to speak on their situation because I don't know all the facts, but I do know that man was pushed beyond his brink and did something catastrophic that we trying to avoid. So men, before we even get to that level, let's pay attention to how we feel. Let's pay attention to what's going on. Let's pay attention to the signs that we can catch before it reaches to a level of catastrophic proportions where we can't do nothing about it or it's too late. Whatever you do, them emotional reactions affect everybody around you, not just you. Remember that. All right, number 4. I feel like number 4 is extremely important. Know your limits. Know when it's time to walk away. Know when it's time to speak up. Know when it's time to defend yourself. But also know when you reach your limit. Like, okay, I can't deal with this. I will remove myself from the situation. I can't tell you how many times I just walked away from a situation before it went somewhere that it ain't need to go. Because as a man, you have your limits. You can't think you could just take and take and take and take, and it ain't going to have no effect on what we got going on. I need you to pay attention to everything else we spoke on before. It leads to this. Knowing where you at, knowing where your mental capabilities stand so you can avoid anything that you don't need to get into. Because if you think you can just keep taking it, you're wrong. My young men, older brothers, anybody that this reaches to right now, know when it's time to walk away. Know when it's time to stand up for yourself. Have this emotional intelligence where you know how to respond and you know how to handle situations instead of just flying off the hinges. Because trust me, sometimes that's the easy way to go. But in the long run, it don't work out. Trust me. You're in a situation, somebody testing you, trying you out in a way that you don't see fit. Learn how to respond in an intelligent way, an emotional, intelligent way. It don't have to be a reaction. Like, what? You don't have to automatically get in somebody's face or automatically want to throw hands or whatever the case may be. Learn how to develop some emotional intelligence so you can respond in a way where you can remain calm, you can control the situation, you can not necessarily dictate, but you can see a way where you can handle it without flipping out, without going to an extreme that nobody needs to get into. So remember, try to develop some emotional intelligence, even if you need to work on it at home when you're by yourself. But I want y'all to respond in a way where it's decent. You're not just automatically choosing violence over handling things in a responsible adult way. And this may take practice. It ain't no easy 1, 2, 3 lemon peasy. Everything takes practice. So remember, let's try to respond in the correct way instead of an emotional way. You feel me? Just keep in mind, your perception is everything. And sometimes you just need to alter that. Sometimes it ain't always about how you look at something, how you feel about it. Sometimes people just having a bad day and ain't got nothing to do with you. You feel me? Number 6, your perception on things. A lot of times we get caught in situations just because it looks a certain way that we thought it was. When 9 times out of 10, it ain't never the way you think it is. Sometimes it is and sometimes it ain't. But a lot of times we draw a certain energy towards us when we constantly looking at it through a certain lens or a certain light. It ain't always got to be that way. Try to change your perception on things around you. Try to change the energy on things around you, so you won't keep drawing these altercations to yourself just based off of how you react to everything that comes your way. React, respond, knowing your limits, paying attention to the signs. All these things equate together. So when you do run into these altercations, you may be able to leave with your life, because some people don't care. You got to understand that some people out here just don't care about nothing. Some people dealing with a whole lot of trauma, so untucked trauma. You just may be that trigger that day. And I'm not saying you need to walk out here in fear, but I do want to walk out here with some emotional intelligence of how to handle situations that we get caught in. So just keep in mind, your perception is everything. And sometimes you just need to alter that. Sometimes it ain't always about how you look at something, how you feel about it. Sometimes people just having a bad day and ain't got nothing to do with you. You feel me? A lot of people know me. No, I'm a good dude. I don't mean no harm. I'm always trying to help. I'm always trying to look out. I got a love for my black men. I got a love for these young men out here trying to do their thing. Like, I just want to create an impact on change some people's lives. If it's just one person that I touch with all this, then I'd be happy with that. But I was never in this. I wasn't always in this place. It was a point in time where emotionally I was disconnected from everything. Like, I didn't care. I didn't have these emotions. When I see people going through something, I used to always think, man, they faking it. Yo, get your shit together, man. It ain't that deep. I used to always be extremely dismissive of people's anger, frustration, everything they was going through. I would immediately dismiss it in my own head because I never went through it. Until I went through my own struggle and realized what was going on and how people is something that you just can't control. It's not that simple. It's not that black and white. I started to develop an appreciation and an understanding and a sympathetic approach to a lot of people that's dealing with a lot of these issues, man. And I became one of them. And it took me to go through it for me to really recognize and understand that there's a lot of people out here that need help. And I'm one of them. And I'm constantly working on it, trying to get better and do better. So I don't want y'all to think that I'm on here preaching or trying to make it seem like I got it all together, because I don't. The main reason why I'm doing this is because I want to help illuminate path for men out here that may be caught in a moment that may not realize that they're caught in. So listen, y'all can DM me, y'all can hit me up. You need somebody to talk to, holla at me. I'm available, man, so we can get through this together. It's Pito. Holla at me.